Good evening, all. We from SREC Alumni Association welcome everyone for attending this 10th webinar talk series, Do's and Don'ts for Business During COVID. We welcome our Principal Ma'am, Speaker of the Day, Mr. P. Nagarajan, other faculties from our college, and all our alumni friends. Our Speaker of the Day, Mr. P. Nagarajan, belongs to 2000 branch, Tripoli branch. After his engineering, he had worked with half a dozen companies with different cadre. He started his journey with eBrahma as a software engineer. Then he moved on to Accenture, where he had worked for 12 years. Later, he switched over to Tech Mahindra, where in parallel, he had completed his MBA in marketing. After that, he had worked with Salesforce.com, Infosys, and currently he works as a delivery manager at Coldsley. He's also volunteering as a career development faculty at Dia Career Mentors, a community leader at Coimbatore Salesforce Developer Community Group. He's also a mentor at Team Everest NGO. இவருக்கும் எனக்கும் ஸ்கூல் எனக்கு சீனியர் ஆகுது, ஆனால் காலேஜ் பஸ்ஸில் தான் ரொம்ப நல்ல பழக்கம். அந்த லாஸ்ட் செகண்ட் என்ட்ரிக்கு முன்னாடி சீட்டில் தான் உட்காந்துட்டு இருந்தாரு. இப்போ ரிமெம்பர் வந்தோடனே சின்ன ராகிங் பண்ணாது, இவன் பேதன்றாரு. அவரோட பாடி லாங்குவேஜில் அப்படியே ஆனால் வசந்தனா அப்படின்னு, எந்த டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டு அப்படின்னாரு. ட்ரிபிளி. ஓ ட்ரிபிளியா அப்படின்னு சிரிச்சார் அவரோட ஸ்டைலில். என்ன 2 பேருமே ட்ரிபிளி தான். எந்த ஸ்கூல் அப்படின்னு அடுத்தது எங்கேயோ பார்த்த மாதிரி இருக்குன்னு சொல்லிட்டு தான் கேட்டாரு. கார்மல் அப்படின்னு. ஓ முடிஞ்சதுவோ அப்படின்னாரு. இது எல்லாமே அவருக்குரிய ஒரு பாடி லாங்குவேஜ். அப்படியே அந்த இதில் பேசினாரு. தட்ஸ் வேர் மை ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஷிப் வித் ஹிம் ஸ்டார்டட். அவர் அணுகுமுறை மிகவும் பாராட்டுக்குரியது. உரிமையோட டெய்னு தான் இன்னும் கூப்பிடுவாரு. அதுவும் அவரோட பாடி லாங்குவேஜில். மிகவும் யதார்த்தமான மனிதர், பழகுவதற்கு எளியவர், அனைவரையும் அனைத்து செல்லக்கூடியவர். அண்ணா ப்ளீஸ் யூ மே ஸ்டார்ட்.
Good evening, everyone. So Vasanth gave a very good introduction. I don't know what he meant by my body language, but I hope it's a positive one. Yeah, so let's start with the presentation. And today I would like to make Naveen also my partner in this presentation, because he has also been a mentor for a lot of startups. So Naveen, shall we start?
Ready when you are, Anna.
Okay, great. Okay, so let me share the screen. Let me know if you're able to see my screen. Once you're able to see my screen. Is my screen visible?
Not yet. I think you should try switching off your video.
Yeah, let me try that.
Because you have enabled the background. See, I have not enabled my background. This is the place where I store all my money.
Yeah, you have that much money to store. You're showing off. I don't have anything, so I can't show off. For me, everything is virtual currently. Okay. Is it visible now?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go into the presentation. So the topic which I wanted to cover today was the do's and don'ts for business leaders in the COVID-19 situation. Right, so we all know that all of the businesses in almost all segments have been affected by COVID-19. So I based this presentation based on my interaction with the clients which I have worked in during my professional time. It's not only during COVID. So we have been working as a digital transformation. So I have been working as a digital transformation manager for the past 10 years at least. So I have been just interacting with different people, and they have gone through the different digital strategies they go through. Since most of them have been, enterprise organizations. So I am just trying to adapt this to the normal businesses which is going on locally, right? So let's start with the presentation. So as Vasanth introduced, my name is Nagarajan. Full name is Nagarajan Palaniswamy, and I was in SREC from 97 to 2001 in electrical electronics batch. So yeah, we had a very good time over there in the college, and now seeing how the college has grown, it has been a tremendous growth, and I'm super proud of it. And yeah, so let's proceed with the presentation here. So the first thing which a leader has to be in during any pandemic or any situation that occurs is being an adaptive leader, right? So who is an adaptive leader? Like the name indicates, any leader who can adapt to any situations which happens to him or which happens to the business around him is called an adaptive leader, right? So for an adaptive leader, the most important quality is being emotionally intelligent. So first, let's look at what is emotional intelligence. So whenever I have interacted with people, I've come across different definitions, and one of them is actually a bit disturbing in the sense like this. Most of them say like not showing your emotions. But as human beings, right, it's not possible for us to not show emotions, right? So according to me, the definition of emotional intelligence is showing the right emotions at the right time, right? So that is what is emotional intelligence. And it has to be coupled with the adaptive leadership if you want to get through a crisis situation, right? So any crisis leader will score very high in his emotional intelligence. So what is meant by scoring very high in emotional intelligence? So first point is they know what the emotions they are experiencing. So first is self-awareness. You should be aware what emotion is going through you. So it's like, okay, some client has cancelled the order at the last minute. What is your emotion at that point of time? And will you filter that same emotion down to your whole team or your whole organization, right? So that is where your emotional intelligence comes into picture. So you should not take it emotionally, like you should not show any negative emotions at that point of time. You should be looking into what other opportunities you have or how you can convince the client to take back the cancellation. So those kind of things you should be thinking about and implementing rather than emotionally getting bogged down and just propagating it down the line for the organization, right? So, and the second point is they should understand how people around them are feeling. So once you understand yourself, you have to understand how the others are feeling, because not everyone will be at the same level of emotion, right? So for some people, it's a different emotion. Like if you go to a person who has just joined the company, his emotion when he comes to know that the business is going down, his emotion will be entirely different, because for him it is like his job itself is at stake, his whole life will be at stake. That's how he will feel. But if it is someone who's at a senior leadership level, so what their feeling will be entirely different. They will be like, okay, I used to get this much income, I now I may not get this much income. So job security level, he might not have any issues, but how much income he will get, how he will be keeping up his lifestyle, that kind of emotion he'll be going through, right? So you have to understand the emotion for each person at their level, and then you should guide them through the actions, thoughts, and decisions during the crisis. So in summary, you should be very empathetic in going on with the people in your organization, right? So empathy is not feeling sad or not feeling sorry. It's just like you put them in their shoes and tell them and try to understand them and try to solve their issues. So this is about being an adaptive leader. So during the crisis, every leader has to ask themselves this question. So am I an adaptive leader? So how do you know if you're an adaptive leader? So any human behavior is actually consisting of three parts, right? So first one is your behavior, second is your thoughts, and third is your emotions. So depending on what you think, you will behave in such a way, and depending on the behavior, you will generate emotions, right? Or it could be like, based on your thoughts, you get your emotions first, and then based on the emotions, your behavior will come into picture. So yeah, so in that case, you just need to question yourself in the different areas and see what you are actually doing, right? So under behavior, So am I communicating to the employees more than in the normal times, right? And frequently reminding them of the company values and the purpose for society. So these two are very most important points, because you need to communicate what the company was about. Like Simon Sinek says, you always start with why, right? So when you start with why, if you're starting with why, then you need to tell the people why they are doing the work they are doing, or what was the purpose of this business. So this kind of communication you should be keeping on telling them frequently, so that they also don't lose hope in the company, right? And take decisions accordingly, right? And you should be always visible to others. There will be people who are always panicking because of this situation. So you have to enable the technology for them to always be in touch with the senior leadership or with their leaders, right? And you always convey the honest and accurate information. And it's not only like conveying the honest and accurate information, but you should convey it with compassion. In the sense, you should understand what they are feeling and make your wordings in such a way that they understand what you're trying to say. And the most important thing is, during these times, you need to set some short-term goals for the people, right? And the short-term goals could be for them to reskill themselves, or they are working in a particular department. The work has become less in that particular department. So you can talk with them, like in which other department they can help with, and move them to that department. And you can set a goal for them to learn the workings of the other department, etc. Right. So that is how you can reshuffle people within the departments, rather than sending them off saying that there is no work in your department. And all these actions should be taken very quickly, and it has to be a decisive action, so that no one feels confused what is going on. Only when the leadership is decisive, then only the people also will feel confident over that leadership, right? Okay. So second one, coming to the thoughts. So how do you base your decisions on? So are you relying on scientific facts and data to make decisions? Are you just going with the emotion or whatever news you're hearing? Are you going based on that? If you are a leader, you should always depend on the data and not intuition. Intuition helps. Maybe the data helps you for some 80% of it, or intuition may work on 20% of the times, right? So you don't totally do away with intuition, but you have to rely more on data rather than your intuition, right? And you have to work with you have to form core teams which are tracking the relevant data for you. So in marketing and sales, what is the data that you require to take decisions? And in customer behavior, what is the data that you need to take decisions to improve your sales? And then for improving the sales, how do you target these particular people with your message, right? So all these different department data you require. So you should form a core crisis team immediately, so that you get the relevant data, right? And now when you're opening new avenues, you will get some new data to work on, right? So so previously you may not be looking at the normal data. Okay, how much sales is happening per quarter, or how much sales is happening per week. So that kind of data you might have been looking into, but now you have to start looking into the next level as well, like the customer segmentation kind of thing. And is the customer segmentation right in whatever you have done so far? So these kind of data you need to these kind of thoughts you need to bring to yourself, and you have to segment your data accordingly, right? Sorry. So viewing the crisis from the employee point of view, right? So this is where you show yourself as a leader and not as a person who is only going about his work, right? So this is where the empathy comes in. So you empathize with your employees and also your customers, and you make sure so your thinking should go in such a way like, how can I reduce the stress and anxiety level of my employees, or how can I add more value to my customers? So that kind of thought you should be having, right? So, and always staying focused on the big picture. So, okay, currently the crisis is going on. That is fine. So during the crisis, what I should do, that will be your long-term, that will be a short-term goal. Now, anyway, at one point of time, this crisis is going to end. It may be 1 year down the line, or it may be 2 years down the line, or it could be like you are, or it could be like you are starting to adapt to this particular crisis. right? So when you start to adapt to this particular crisis, what is your end goal? So what is the big picture goal that you have? You have to start thinking about that as well, rather than just going about, okay, what will I do for next week? What will I do for next month, etc. Right? So these are the different questions that you can ask yourself about your thoughts to check whether you are an adaptive leader. Right? So next is regarding the emotions. So am I modeling equanimity? So what is meant by equanimity? Right? So am I treating everyone equally? Right? So are my emotions, am I treating all my emotions equally? So and also you should balance between realism with optimism. You cannot go on telling your employees, hey, everything is good, everything is green, we will carry on this way, right? So as a business leader, you will have some view down somewhere down the line, like 3 months down the line or 6 months down the line, what is going to happen, right? So you have to balance between both, and also your message should balance between both the realism and the optimism, right? So demonstrating humility and authenticity. So like we discussed before, you should be very authentic in whatever you convey to the people. It's not only about being authentic. You should also be compassionate in conveying those messages, right? And like we discussed, showing empathy is one of things, and listening to others attentively, right? So these are the different behaviors, thoughts, and emotions that needs to go in for as an adaptive leader, right? So anyone has any questions so far?
No, you may take it.
Okay, so let's proceed. So let's see what's the components of a business, right? So there are always two main components of a business, right? So we use these two components to increase our revenue or increase our profit. So first one is the goods that you sell, and second one is the people whom you use to sell and whom you sell to, right? So these could be the two basic components of a business. So the first component is the goods, which consists of your products and services. And products could be physical products or just virtual products, or could be digital products, right? And services is customer services, or you or you have a call center or a contact center, right? So those are all falls under services. And then you have different types of people to deal with, right? So you have your employees, you have your customers, and you have your vendors. So vendors are nothing but people who supply the raw materials to you, or people whom you contract to do certain kind of work, right? So we have to concentrate on all these components during this crisis situation, right? To make sure like all those people are not anxious or stressed about this particular situation, right? So before we jump into what are the actions that we can take, let me just give you a small theory about this Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So most of you would have already come across this in any of your management subjects, or doing any type of management, you might have come across this, right? So what does Maslow's hierarchy says? So what it says is there is a pyramid which every human being strives for, right? And the most basic one is the physiological needs, which is the air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, and anything concerned with the reproduction, right? So air, water, food, and shelter are the most basic needs. Like we say, we are also taught in school about 3 basic needs, right? Food, clothing, and shelter. Right. So here is just those are the physiological needs that we require. So only when these physiological needs are met, then we go for the next hierarchy, which is the safety needs, like the personal security, employment, resources, health, property. So the best example I can talk about is the people like masons who go to work in a different country where they don't feel they are secured, but still they take up that employment, right? So why do they do that? To meet their physiological needs like air, food, water, shelter for their family, right? So only for meeting that, so that is their first need. So for satisfying that need, they go to employment, even though they ignore their personal security and friendship and all those things, right? So that is how this hierarchy works. So if we keep this, if any leader keeps in hierarchy this hierarchy in mind, and they try to solve it at the basic levels based on what the needs of the employees are, then all these could be handled quite in quite a good way, right? So based on this, let us look at what can be done and what we should not do, right? So for employees, what can you do, right? So first thing is always offer financial assistance. So why do they need financial assistance? Again, it goes back to their physiological needs. They want a good shelter. They want to have some food for them, right? They want good clothing for them. So for this, obviously nowadays it is like we require money for doing this. They may be living in a rented place for which they need to pay rent, etc. So those basic needs, at least we should be able to offer assistance in, right? So once we take care of that, then it comes to their next level, which is their safety needs and love and belonging needs, right, and their esteem. Yeah. So if you look at the what can you do for that, we can focus on the mental health. So currently, most of the people are working from home, right, or either working from home or they are not working at all. So which will surely affect their mental health, right? So even though those employees are not working with you, it would be good if we can focus on their mental health and make the counselors or coaches or anyone available to them whenever they want someone to talk to, right? So actually the next 3 points, the focus on mental health, encourage virtual workouts, host a gratitude challenge, all this comes under the mental health umbrella, right? So why do we encourage virtual workouts? So see, all this you can do even if the employees are not working with you. All it requires is a infrastructure which takes care of digital interaction, and also it would require and also it might require you to get in touch with some expert in these areas and making them available for your employees so that they can they can get their needs here, right? So these are all for the mental health of the employees. And next is stay reconnected. So how do you stay connected to them? Again, it is the onus of the leadership, to send some invites for virtual events, ask them to log into the virtual event, and try to keep them engaged with the company. And you can also convey them like what is happening in the company, or how they will be taken care of if any untoward incident happens. So this kind of reassurance you have to give them, and you have to stay connected with those employees, right? And last but not the least is reskill them. So why do you need reskilling, right? So for example, maybe currently you are a retail entrepreneur, or you could be a IT company, or you could be like you can be doing any business, right? So any business, you have to diversify in case to increase your income. So from your current niche, how you can diversify outside, right? You need to think about those things. And when if you are diversifying, how can you reskill your current employees and take them for that particular new wing of business that you're looking into, right? So for example, you are a garment manufacturer. So obviously your next target will be to manufacture masks, right? So if you are manufacturing masks, how can you use your current employees to help with you in creating those masks, or designing those masks, or stitching those masks, right? That kind of thing you can do. Or you are an IIT company who's focused on providing solutions to the enterprise users. Now your enterprise users are not giving you work, so you can look at what products you can create based on the knowledge that you have currently, right? So and those products could be maybe creating a video conferencing app, or you can create some app with monitoring telecom, or monitoring the expense. So these kind of things, right? So for this you can reskill your current employees and use them instead of telling them you don't have any work here, right? So these are the do's that you can do with your employees. Okay. So any questions so far? Hello.
We can move on now.
Move on.
Okay, Naveen. Okay, so the second type of people you will look at is the customers, right? So for customers, what are the don'ts for the customers? So you never assume the pre-pandemic consumer behavior. So what is consumer behavior? Right? It's like how the consumers were behaving with you, right? So what type of products they were looking at, what type of how much amount they were willing to spend on you, right? So those will come under your consumer behavior. So now before this pandemic or before the crisis, whatever data you had might not hold good now. So that is the reason you need to have adaptive leadership and look at what other data you can look into, right? So as per the different studies, and it is quite obvious if you think about it. So the people buying apparels and clothes clothes and accessories for going out, all those things definitely would have reduced, right? But they will look at the personal hygiene kind of apparels, and also they would go for they would go for financial products like insurance, those kind of things, right? So the consumer behavior is actually changing. So you have to make sure you don't assume the pre-pandemic consumer behavior and try to have data which has the current consumer behavior, right? So unless you have data, you will not be having any action points to take, right? And second one is share insensitive or misleading content. So this could happen because you have already some marketing automation that's happening, right? For example, when this pandemic was 1 month old, I got a message from Airtel which said, if you're looking for a dream vacation, please visit the site, right? So it's like no one is looking for a dream vacation at that point of time during lockdown. So it is just one of their marketing automation which they had place before everything took place, but they had just forgotten to turn it off, right? So in case you are doing some marketing in that way, so you need to look at your current marketing campaigns. You should look at what message are you conveying to the customers. So those things you have to just look at and adjust them accordingly, right? So and don't act like an opportunist. In the sense currently I can see a lot of products, especially the hygiene product, maybe like the soaps, Lifebuoy or someone, they just say 99.9% germ free. And now all they did was just add a corona virus logo on top of their products, right? So that is just like acting like an opportunist. So it's like, everyone is looking for something to clean away the coronavirus. And what I will do is on top of my product, I will just say that it is corona proof or corona free, right? And I try to do it. And even if you see a lot of webinars that is happening, or a lot of people who are trying to market themselves as coaches, they are all trying to make use of this corona pandemic, right? So during pandemic, you have to do this. And if you look at what has to be done, it's just the normal things that you have to do, right? But they just add the word corona to it. So those kind of people just act like opportunities, and make sure your business doesn't act like that, right? And make sure you don't send any mails for the sake of sending it, because already people are panicked and they just and they get a lot of data in their emails and they don't know which email to check. And as per the recent study by MailChimp.com, so the unsubscription rate is high for many businesses currently than before. That is because they are just bombarded with emails from each and everyone, which they don't need, right? And the last point is promise what you can't fulfill. So this is a basic for any business, but you have to especially take care of during this time. The reason being you can't. The reason being that the supply chain is broken nowadays, right? So when going from one state to another state, maybe there is no logistics currently in place, so you cannot deliver in a particular place. So you have to be clear about what you will deliver, what you cannot deliver, those kind of things, right? So you should never promise what you can't fulfill. Once they place the order, or once they call you and you assure them that you will deliver it to them, but later you come to know that you can't fulfill, right? So it will give a bad name to the business as well. So these are the don'ts that you should not do for any customers, right? So going with the last point of the don't, this is a compliment for it. So you should update based on your business status. So even now, if you go to many sites, you cannot find any information whether they are operating during Corona situation or they are not operating during the Corona situation, right? So those kind of those kind of messages you should be taking care of and clearly displaying in your site whether the site is under operation or not, right? And now it is more important to convey the customers about their delivery status of their goods more than before, right? And second do is be aggressive with digital marketing. So this is one point as a digital transformation manager. This is one point which I have been advising all the teams, right? So they should look into digital marketing. So I know the FB. So currently the digital marketing has so many things, so many platforms that you get overwhelmed in using which platform to use, and because of that, people just stop using the digital marketing as such. But digital marketing has a very huge potential in reaching different types of clients and also reaching different segments of the clients which you have not imagined as well, right? So you can target those clients and you can try to do your digital marketing. And as such, marketing is marketing is mainly to make your brand knowledgeable to others or to increase your brand value and also increase your brand recognition. So all these things you can do during this crisis also, right? So you can do some public interest messages or something like that, and you can make sure like your brand is recognized everywhere. So you can take advantage of now the time now, and you can do digital marketing, and you can make sure your brand is recognized and your brand is reaching beyond wherever you thought it could, right? And also this third point is almost same as the first one, where you say that you have to be clear about your current offering. So make sure like on the products which you cannot deliver in whatever area, make sure you have a banner or you have a tag or a message which says that this is not possible to deliver. Or you should be training your customer service agents. If they get an order through a call, they should be informed of all these changes so that they are aware where they can deliver, where they cannot deliver as well. Right. So this is for both offline as well as for online businesses. And the fourth point is do plan online events. Right. So you don't want to lose your existing customers, and you don't want the chance to not gain the new customers as well. So what you do is you plan some online interesting events. Like ma'am was saying, the Alumni Association plans some musical evening, right? Even companies can do that, right? Or you can educate your customers on your products, maybe on how to use your products or how to use your products to get more revenue. So those kind of events you can organize so that you keep on engaging with the customers, right? And do make it a point to improve the customer experience. So how can you improve the customer experience? So if you so there you can open up different channels, right? So if you are having only a call center, and obviously the call center strength would be less because most people may not be working due to social distance, or they might not be able to work from home. So where you had 10 agents, you might have had only 5 agents. So which decreases the customer experience as well, because if customers are calling for some issue, they have to wait a longer time. So here, how you can improve the customer experience is open up more channels. More channels in the sense, just instead of having a call, you can have a chat. You can have a WhatsApp customer experience. You can have a chatbot customer experience with the basic questions, right? So this is how you can improve your customer experience. And yeah, please do keep an eye on the existing marketing automations. So this is something which we discussed in the don't as well, right? So if you have any marketing automation sending out saying like, okay, celebrating some festivals or things like that, it's going to be different during a pandemic, in the sense like they may not be in a position to physically get together and celebrate some occasion. People may need to get together virtually and celebrate some occasions. Right, so you should adapt your marketing automations accordingly so that you give your advices properly to the customers. Okay. So these are the do's and don'ts for a customer. Anyone has any questions so far? Hello.
We can continue now. We'll take questions in the last perhaps.
Okay. 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 So next is, how can you adapt your products and services? Obviously, the most important thing is go online, right? So you have to digitally transform your organization, right? So how can you go online? If you're having physical products, if you're having digital products, or if you are offering services, right? So when we talk to small businesses, like people who are having small shops or something, they are just afraid that it will take a lot of cost to go into online business, right? For example, the shops in my street or maybe in my area, right? When I go and talk to them, why don't you take orders online and deliver? Because anyway they are doing it already for the milk packets, right? So any milk packet, so any shop which is having milk packets, anyway they come in the morning and they deliver the milk packets. So why can't they take some grocery orders along with it, and they can deliver it at home, right? Instead of making people come to their shop, or it will be advantageous for them. So when we talk to them, their main concern is about cost. So they have an impression somehow like going online is going to have too much cost. So if your business is a business which is there in marketing, or which is there in sales, or which is already you are doing some digital operations, you can educate these kind of small shopkeepers or small businesses on how they can go online. So I've just listed some ways in which they can go online, right? So first is like WordPress and WooCommerce. These two are completely two free tools, 100% free tools that you can use to immediately put your products online, and you can start taking orders, right? And then how you fulfill the orders, that comes under your logistics, which you can work out with different consulting. I mean, you can take help of the companies which are consulting in logistics, or you can have a small tie-ups, or you can deliver yourself, right? So these kind of opportunities you should look at. And and for marketing yourselves online, you can make use of different platforms like MailChimp, Facebook, Instagram. So these also provide very, very good free options for you. And anyway, nowadays everyone is using Facebook and Instagram, to upload their personal photos or their personal events or things like that. So they can just create a page, and they can start doing their business also online, instead of just sharing some personal photos or things like that. And MailChimp has a very free plan up to 2,000 customers, whom you can manage in MailChimp for email marketing as well, right? And then you have your affiliate marketing. So if you are already having some digital platform, but you are running out of products or services to sell, right? Your products or services are not in demand. So what you can do is you can look into affiliate marketing. So there are other major players like Amazon, Flipkart, Shopify, etc., who all have all their products in demand most of the times, because they have diverse amount of products, right? So you can become an affiliate with them. So affiliate marketing, how does it works? You can market their products on your website, or in your friends group, or on your Facebook page, anywhere. And if someone is buying through your link, you get a commission out of the sales that has been made, right? So that is how affiliate marketing works. So anyone can take up this affiliate marketing. Even people who have lost their jobs or someone, they can just look into this affiliate marketing if this is something they can work on, right? So this is how you can adapt your products and services for this kind of pandemic situations. So any questions on products?
Hi, senior. This is Sharmila. I have a doubt.
Yeah, Sharmila, please.
So there is a recent advertisement from Lalita Jewellers. It is telling they are giving 2% reduction in making charges for corona warriors and doctors. I think this is opportunist, as like what you're telling. But otherwise, how would they run the business? Should they not adopt this idea?
Okay, so in this case, yes, it is opportunistic. It is opportunistic in a sense, like they are just selling it based on the names. But if you see, they are also giving discounts to the people who are actually working from the front line, right? So you can see opportunities is nothing but you don't make any changes, but you just say that you are doing it for coronavirus, right? So that will make you an opportunist. Here, yeah, it is opportunistic in a way. They are using the coronavirus name, but still they are providing discounts and all to increase their sales, right? So this is in a kind of a gray area, I would say. It is not completely opportunistic, but and also like it is not completely helpful as well. So this is a gray area which they look into. And also, like, see, if Lalita Jewelers kind of people, what my thought is, they need not do this. They can just provide, provide some. They can just say during this time we are just providing some input. Providing some discount. They need not put the pandemic word or coronavirus word. They can just say like, in this economy, we would like to help you by providing the discounts. Right. So the wording actually matters.
Okay.
Did I answer your question or you?
Yeah, but I'm actually not convinced. If they don't use this corona word, how will their advertisement reach everyone? Because they have a business, they have to support a lot of people as well from their end. So I think, yeah, they are opportunists, but I don't know if it's right or wrong in this.
Yeah, so that's what I say. The wordings they use matters. So they don't have to use because of coronavirus or because of this pandemic, right? So because of this pandemic, there are a lot of effects in this, right? Maybe the economy is down, or maybe your salary is reduced, or it is basically economic crisis, right?
Yes.
So if they use the words like in times of your economic crisis, we still help you to buy jewelry by providing you this discount.
Okay. So
Right?
okay. So ideally, how should they modify their message? They should just not use the word corona, is it?
Yeah, they don't have to use things which will create panic among people. That's all. So currently the psychology is such a way that if you say as soon as you say corona or pandemic, people get stressed out.
Okay.
Sir, Nagarajan sir, like if they put an ad like buy now pay later for the frontline warriors, how it would sound, sir?
Yeah, that would be like they are doing something good, right? See, buy now pay later is something which not only happens during this crisis. It's something which is happening during most of the times, right?
Yes, specifically for that medicos, that is the frontline warriors. If they give an offer like that, I think Sharmila's question could have answer to that.
Yeah, this is also one of the answers to that question. Yes, I agree.
I'm sorry for jumping in. Just curious, Sharmila madam, are you into entrepreneurship? Do you want a specific solution? If you directly ask, I think this point could be addressed better rather than we worrying about a big, corporate company.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
I'm not into entrepreneurship, but I'm MBA from IIM. So I also deal with this kind of case studies. So I was just curious about how should they take up this situation?
No, which IIM you go to, madam?
IIM Trichy.
Okay, IIM Trichy. Okay. See, it's honestly speaking, it is totally up to the business on how they want to take it up, and the image that they want to maintain among the masses. Okay, so here my 2 cents would be like classify your business based on the scale. So if you are a startup, you will have to market it one way. If you are a established business, you might have to market it the other way. Okay, so here at the same time, which way of marketing or which way of reaching the people would make less brand impact, less negative brand impact value is what any person will have to look at. So if you are into the MBA, if you I don't know if you have already studied these subjects. It's called MDF and LDF. So it is called Monetary Development Fund and Liquidity Development Fund. You can just go and refer on what these are. So these would be assigned to these companies for the development of the company, where they can use these funds internally and externally. So when these funds are allocated and they are under a pressure to actually bring in business. Okay, so this is where these kind of marketing or these wordings come up. So
Okay.
this is the source. This is the source.
Okay, Naveen, let me check them. Actually, I need to check on them as well.
Sure.
Okay, any other question from anyone else? Hey, thanks Naveen for jumping in. That was really helpful information as well.
Anytime, Anna. And I would like to add one more thing on the
Please.
Sorry about that. That is the COVID meter popping up. So which is today's count is 5,994 in Tamil Nadu.
Yeah, these are the exact communication which we should avoid. You just gave me a practical example.
Yeah, so having said that, don't, like it's the same thing. Don't send these kind of communication to all your employees. That's what Anna is saying. So the most important thing here is on the empathy part, it should not just be on waiting to help someone. You can always go back and ask someone, find out, and then help. So it's not really like we need to wait till someone comes to this point and then go ahead and help. So Sharmila, from the same IIT, there were not IIT, IIM, sorry, IIM Trichy. There were a couple of students who called me up sometime a couple of weeks back, and I presume I met them about 2-3 years back, and on a mentoring stage. So these guys were trying to raise funds for a company and for their own company, which is into one space. I don't want to talk about it since I formally am not consulting with them. So all of a sudden, these guys were like, I need to raise this money. So can you put us in touch with a few investment bankers? So I was like, I tried to sit down and understand, perhaps like in a 10 or 15-minute call. So there I could find out that I can connect them to a lot of people. So when I told them, see, I can connect you to X for this, Y for this, and Z for this. And even before I told them, I started connecting. So within 2 weeks, they were able to raise about 3 crores. So, and if the company is live today and they want me to come on board as a consultant. So it is not like, I mean, I'm not taking the consulting offer though, because I don't have time for it. But it is like, you have to really find out, and there was another instance where a couple of my employees resigned, where, again, they are also from SREC. So they were like, sir, I want to go to Chennai or Bangalore. In the pandemic, how can you go to Chennai or Bangalore? You stay here. We'll see you after December or January. They were not convinced. They wanted to work in a bigger team, bigger company. We already had invested more than 6 to 7 lakhs on their training. But I know that that is going down the drain because he is gone. So I told them, I'll get you connected with 8 people. And I was able to find a job for one of them in one company. I told them, see, this is the place. And the CEO of the company was a friend of mine. I told them, you could take up the interview and take it up to the next level. So that happened. He is very happy. And now he's like, sir, I don't want to take the job. I want to continue here. At a very lower pay. It's like, ain't working. Go and continue your new job. So, you need to really have that openness in the company or with the people whomever you work with. So only then, in this turbulent waters, we will be able to sail. Not sail, stay afloat.
Okay, Naveen, I think it. Thank you.
Okay, so let me just conclude by summarizing whatever we have seen, right? So we have seen for employees, customers, and products. So for employees, you just take care of their basic needs, not just financially, but also, you can provide them provisions or some things like that, so that their basic level needs are met, right? And do CSR the right way. The CSR, we always concentrate more on, society and what can be done for them. So during these times, you can start the CSR with your employees, right? So for your employees, you can do some social activities or something for your employees, rather than just using them for doing CSR. And second one is customer communication. So that is very crucial. And once again, I highlight on the point of digital marketing, where you can take up any of the digital platforms like Facebook or Pinterest or Instagram or LinkedIn, depending on whichever domain you are in. And then you can start communicating with your customers and hopefully not lose touch with them by organizing some online events or things like that. Right. So for products and services, the main way to solve is by going online. So going online doesn't require a lot of wealth. It just requires some minimal investment to go through it. If you are ready to find the tools which I mentioned here, like using WordPress or WooCommerce, which are completely free, you can set up a online platform for any of the businesses, and then you can start from there and look at how you can go on. Okay. So this is the basic summary of today's session. So with this, I think I'll conclude this session. So if anyone has any questions more, we can take it up. Or Naveen, you want to add anything? We can look into it. Anyone else has any other inputs also, please feel free to input.
No, my part is.
Nagarajan sir, thanks for the wonderful presentation. I do have a question.
Thank you, Thomas. Thanks for the opportunity to the Alumni Association as well. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the question is, in recent times, we have come across a number of business through Facebook as well as through WhatsApp. And it is very small micro businesses, but still business is a business. And we have seen so many YouTube channels popping up. With the myth that it will give you some money back if the number of views and things are going to increase, you're going to get something like that. Are they true?
Okay, so how that will work is, okay, whatever you're saying, if you have so many views or subscribers, that will not work with the WhatsApp business which you're talking about. And that is not a default with the Facebook pages you're talking about. Okay. So with YouTube, what happens is, if you cross a certain limit of subscribers, like I think 10,000 subscribers or 1,000 subscribers, I'm not sure. So once you cross this number of subscribers, you can monetize your channel. In the sense, YouTube will be showing advertisements in your channel, right? So you have let us say you have a video of 5 minutes length. They might show an ad after 1 minute, or at the start of your video, and also at the end of the video. And that video might be of 30 seconds length, right? And let us say I'm coming to watch your video, and I'm seeing this advertisement video first. If I'm seeing this advertisement video for a certain amount of time without skipping it, right? Or I'm just seeing this to a full, you will be paid one particular amount for that. Thomas, you're getting my point?
I got it, yeah.
Yeah, so this amount will keep on adding up as the number of views increases, and that is how you get that money. So it's not like just when you put some videos on YouTube channel, you will start getting money. That is a myth. But you need to get a strong subscriber base, And if those people are watching your videos regularly, and if they are watching the advertisements which are there on your videos without skipping, that is when you will start getting the money.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thomas sir. Hello.
Yeah, yes, Vasanth.
Yeah, one of my office staff, he has got one a cooking channel. By means, he is earning about 6,000 to 7,000 rupees per month on an average. But of course, it's a 3-year process which he has been in, and currently he is getting about 6,000 to 7,000 rupees per month on an average.
Oh, that's great news, Vasanth.
So the basic calculation, universal calculation, which they do is, I think, for a million for 30,000 users, it is around $1,000. So 30,000 views. So for example, 1 million people have seen your ad. I mean, the ad which is shown on your channel. You can earn around $9,000. So this is the like the industry average that they calculate with.
Now
Good.
I think that is target is tripled, if I am correct. I don't know. That's what I was told, at least by one of the YouTubers. Earlier it was, I think, about 1,000 or 2,000 views and some other subscribers. But now I think they have tripled it because of this.
Okay, then I think now I am sure it is 10,000 subscribers.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, now it is 10,000 subscribers could be.
Good evening, Anna. This is Vani Vasanth. Whatever
This is
you say
Vasanth,
is,
yeah.
actually, actually, I would like to know for a service type of industry, how is this possible right now for the pandemic situation right now? So what can be done for a service type of industry? People have to go there, work down the lane, and have to get back the results. So in such cases, what would be your suggestion on that?
Service in the sense like what kind of service?
We are into a panel board manufacturing company and we are doing a contracting business as well. So for that type of industries, what would be a suggestion for that? See, as far as the marketing is concerned, for the other things it's okay, but for us it is we have to go down the lane and we have to work. So how can we do
Yeah,
that?
so in this situation, you have no choice if you have to be there physically to look at the machine and solve the issues. So here the maximum thing you can do is take the precautions, the disinfectants and the different sanitizers. So those kind of the PPEs, like personal protective equipment. So those kind of things you can supply to your employers, and they can use them, and also you follow the social distancing with the clients as well. You'll be only near the machines where you have to be, not with so many people around. So those kind of things, those kind of precautions only you can take at this point of time, is what I feel. Because your constraint is you have to be there physically. You have no other choice.
Yeah.
So in that case, you can do that. Or if you can think a bit more, you can do you can anyway do some remote monitoring kind of thing also. Like you can provide a remote support kind of thing where the person is using the machine can relay what is happening over there to you. You can ask him to check on the vital statistics and inform back to you. So those kind of that kind of remote working also you can do. I'm not sure in your exact situation, but as far as service is concerned, this is one thing which I can think of.
Okay, Anna. Thank you.
Anna, you want me to add? Or Annie, you
Yeah,
want?
please, Naveen, whenever it is possible for you, please jump in.
Yeah, Naveen.
Your knowledge is very, very high in these areas.
So, Annie, if you're into manufacturing, so what you can actually do is, now is the right time for you to upskill your employees. So I don't know how occupied you are. If you're running at 70 or 80% occupancy, then it is very good news. Just add some employee engagement activity like a bingo, or locally said it could be called a tambola, or any weekly engagement activity, which will actually boost the mood of the employees. Now, if you are saying, no, I am less than 70% engaged now with my work, then this is the right time for you to get someone, train one person in each level. Let's say one in Six Sigma, or one in a specific technique or a technology, and then one in a quality, and do cross trainings. So
Yeah.
give them, get them a Coursera login, and it is not going to cost you a lot. It's like 500 rupees or something per course. So just get them that small course, and once they do the course, once they complete the certificate, you can implement that in your company somewhere, and ask them to take cross trainings, so that way they also feel empowered. So that is one more thing that you can do if you are into manufacturing. Now, if you are into digital services sector, so what we did was, we started organizing something called a office slice. So we meet every Thursday between 11:30 to 12:30. We have a grievance meeting, just in case if someone has any problems or issues, they bring it up. But again, they need not wait till Thursday. They always have everyone's core group's contact number. So we have different escalation levels. So they always do that. And at the same time, if they have any open grievances, they bring it up that time. So one thing that we found out was, like, people were not having good infrastructure at home to sit down and work. So we gave them some budget to go shop for furniture and get it reimbursed. So this happened because of office lease. So if you can do something like that virtually, and after the grievance meeting, we'll have the fun. So we play dump sellers online, we play Antakshari online. So we also have Cartoon Network online. So we play a favorite cartoon or something and try guessing the character and the dialogue. So these are small things we can organize, which will actually boost the mood. So what happened in these last 3-4 months was, like, the team was more engaged. Now they are organizing the activity and we are participating. So, but for
That's nice.
honestly, for the first 3 or 4 weeks, it is going to be a very big pain, because they will not come out of the zone. Like, they
Yeah, I agree.
this conservative zone, we don't want to come out of it. But once they feel that empowerment in them, right? So it is like you cannot put the brakes, something like that.
That's really trendy and it's really good job. Upskilling is a good option, Naveen. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Most welcome.
Other questions, please?
Vasanth, if there are no questions, shall I go for the closing remarks?
Yes, I think we can.
Yeah, thank you, Nagarajan Palaniswamy, 97-2001 Triple batch. Thank you for a wonderful presentation. Alumni Association is very proud to host you. Thank you. And a very much needy topic, the do's and don'ts of business leaders in during COVID times. It's really a catchy one. Thank you. Is hosting the annual alumni meet and as well as AGM 2020 on 23rd August. And Naveen Krishnamurthy and Dr. S.R.E.C. Gopalan is the convener and co-convener for that. Naveen is here with us. Also, he has brought a stand-up comedian Manoj Prabhakar to that event. So we'll be having, because during COVID times everyone was stressed, and I believe Manoj Prabhakar could give some stress, 30 minutes of interaction with them. So I do hope we have a good crowd during the annual alumni meet planned on 23rd August. Same time, 6 to 8. And also clubbing with that, we have 4 online planned. It's not only for the as well as the family members too. to attract the spouses, we have cooking competitions. We may feel weird to have a cooking competition online, but the theme is that to have a video coverage of whatever you cook, you put it and upload it in the Google form what we have set, and based on that we'll shortlist and we'll have a online interaction with you for more clarity, because we have to maintain the social distancing, so online is the only option, and engage spouse as well as family members through photography, singing and dance competitions. So 4 competitions we have planned. We hope alumnus as well as the family members get engaged to that. And the next webinar is on online teaching during COVID times by Dr. Ramasubramanian sir of first batch from mechanical. And the next Sunday will be, as I said, the annual alumni meet. And this month we have 5 Sundays, and the 5th Sunday again we have something about finance management. 2005 triple guy from US is going to do that, Anand. So thank you audience for joining us. Thank you one and all.